My name is Hwan Kim from the World Economic Forum. All right. Well, thank you very much for Leon, the organizing team, and Columbia Business School for inviting me to Summit and for the awesome day. It's my great pleasure to deliver closing remarks to the day that was actually filled with lots of great discussions and very exciting insights. So about 2.5 years ago in our Davos Summit back in 2014, the group of global financial services CEOs actually asked our team to take a closer look into what's really happening with the innovation in financial services. So this was back in a time where fintech was just about to hit the media, we've been tasked to kind of go look and have a more in-depth look into how these disruptive innovations that are happening within financial services are actually going to shape the future of the industry. So since then, in collaboration with Deloitte, we had a privilege to work with actually about over 100 CEOs and CEOs and founders of fintech companies or the new entrants to the ecosystem, as well as global financial institutions executives, as well as regulators, industry bodies, academia, to actually explore what innovation means to financial services. And now I think it's really hard to argue that the financial services industry is undergoing an era of unprecedented innovation and change, with a slew of new innovations coming every day that are seemingly random. However, through our research, we actually quickly found that there are a few common characteristics that we were able to find across these innovations within financial services, at least the ones that are successful and most impactful. First one was that they actually occur at the intersection of a lot of customer friction and the greatest amount of economic profit pools that are enjoyed by incumbents. So a lot of themes you actually heard about today about mobile payments and as such, I think are all examples of those. We also found that most impactful innovations tend to employ very platform-based, data-driven, capital-light, and modular business models instead of being full service providers. Also, we also realized that we're seeing a lot of outcome of collaborative competition among incumbents and innovators to kind of create these impactful innovations and scale them to the industry. So I think what was really exciting to see today was a lot of innovations we talked about today in digital financial services, particularly in mobile payments, emerging payment rails, and blockchain. They're all exemplify these type of characteristics. But more importantly, we also very strongly believe these are the groups of innovations that are precursor to giving a window of view into what may happen to the broader financial services ecosystem with other types of innovations, whether that's lending or other ones. It's no coincidence that mobile payments, blockchain, and emerging payment rails are actually first two chapters of our 170-page report on disruptive innovation in financial services. So thank you, Leon, for that, to kind of bringing that to the light. In our view, emerging payments from retail to infrastructure plays a very unique role in the broader financial services industry. First of all, unlike other financial products and services like lending or mortgages or other ones, payments actually represent daily interaction point between financial institutions and customers. This means innovation in payments is at the forefront of shaping and reshaping and changing customer expectations and their interactions with financial institutions. On the flip side, this actually means this allows payments innovators, whether that's blockchain innovators that we just talked about or mobile payment platforms, to actually act as a platform to deliver other financial innovations. I think we're seeing a lot of that with companies like Affirm that's offering point-of-sale lending, or companies like Square that's actually entering into small business lending spaces. Secondly, payments is a generator of data. And we talked quite a bit about privacy and security today and the potential of big data and applications of those. As one of the biggest generators of data, and more importantly, biggest generator of lifestyle data and fluid data sets, payments actually hold a lot of power in terms of shaping what the value financial services industry can deliver to consumers in the future. Finally, payments infrastructure, as we talked quite a bit about blockchain, is actually the backbone of the financial services industry because they facilitate movement of value. With the development of emerging payment rails like blockchain and the modernization of payment infrastructure will generate a lot of operational efficiency and transparency to financial institutions and provide a lot more economical access to financial services to a broader group of customers. In nurturing and fostering innovation in digital finance and payments, must not forget the importance and the role of developing markets, as we talked about earlier in the today. Compared to the developed markets, the lack of financial services infrastructure and offerings in developing economies present very unique opportunities for these innovative offerings to play a role and actually fulfill the greatest amount of friction points that consumers experience. Starting with alternative remittance models about 10 years ago, 15 years ago, these digital finance innovators have now quickly grown to become full-service financial services providers to these developing economies, whether that's lending or insurance and other parts of the market. And in developing markets, these digital innovators are leading the path of financial inclusion, literacy, and access. But in the developed markets, though, we must pay closer attention to what's happening in these developing markets and lessons we can learn from them. And as we may go as our developed markets kind of undergo through a very similar digital transformation in financial services, and we should almost think of these developing markets as an incubator of leapfrog innovations that we can learn from them. Spearheaded by digital finance and payments, the emerging innovations in financial services have the potential to generate disruptive changes to how financial services are going to be structured, consumed, and provisioned in the future, as we heard from some of the innovators that are outside the space. However, though, we believe the true disruptive potential of these innovations in financial services shouldn't be equated with the potential of single companies, whether that's Lending Club or Zenefits that we talked about. But yet, the real disruptive power really lie with the collective impact of various innovations on how they change and reshape customer behaviors, as well as how they influence the market structure and the competitive dynamics among the existing players. From conditioning customers to shop financial services on a more product-by-product basis and driving unbundled consumption of financial services, to challenging efficacy of traditional models in assessing credit and assessing financial health of individuals, all the way down to narrowing the competitive gap between large and small financial institutions. All the impact of the true disruptive innovation in financial services may be a lot more broader and more fundamental than what single companies can actually enable. As a result, the imperative to better understand, address, and support and collaborate with digital financial services must be addressed as an ongoing activity rather than being looked at as a 2015 or 2016 agenda. And the Digital Financial Services and Emerging Payments Summit exemplified that collaborative and long-term discussions that's required for the industry to really unlock the long-term potential of these innovations. Finally, on behalf of the participants today, I'd like to thank the wonderful speakers today who've taken their time to share their amazing insights. I would like to thank the organizers and the Columbia Business School for continuing to host such a great event, and we all look forward to seeing you next year. Yes, absolutely. Great, thank you so much.
Okay, thanks very much, Hwan, and remains for me just to thank everybody for coming today, and to you for staying 6 o'clock on a Friday. There are cocktail drinks and snacks behind you, and thank you again for your participation. We'll see you next year, and have a great weekend today, and thank you again. Thank you. Yeah.